Hey guys, welcome back to Boost Your Light, and today we've got another great reading for you, and it's for you singles out there. So singles, or you might be in an entanglement, but those that are fully not in a relationship, what is next is the question we're asking. We've got three wonderful cards for you to choose from. Number one, which is the wonderful Siren, beautiful card. We have number two, which is the Creator. And number three, the Vow. So if you want to skip straight ahead, you can do so in the timestamps below. But I just wanted to say hello to my new subscribers as well, and those of you that haven't been on the channel before. Super appreciate you turning up and clicking on my video. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, to do so. It really helps me out. And of course, give this video a good thumbs up if it resonates. Also love to hear from you guys. Definitely comment down below. I love to know where you're from. I know a lot of tarot readers out, getting my words muddled up. I know a lot of the tarot, god damn, I can't speak today. Excuse me. I know a lot of the tarot readers out there, the ones that I follow anyway. They have lots of fans in particularly America. I attract so many different countries, and one is not necessarily more concentrated than the other. So let me know in the comments down below where you're from. I love it. I'm so humbled that you all, show up for the video. But anyway, getting straight to the reading. So I want you to take a big deep breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And again, we're going to have a look. I'm going to give you another quick show of the cards. So we've got Siren, pile number one, the Creator, pile number two, and the Vow, pile number three. Amazing. We're going to start with the Siren, pile number one. If you chose this card, this reading is for you. I'm going to pop those just over there for a minute. I'm going to pop you right up here. So today we're going to be using, let's have a look actually. So I'm just going to grab, I did want to use a particular pile. Yes, the Star Child Tarot. I was just really drawn to it today. And it's actually meant to be because it's beautiful with the colourings of this wonderful Siren here. So we'll go into it fully in a minute. We're going to be asking quite a few questions. All relating to, of course, what's next, basically, whether you've recently found yourself single, or you're in a bit of an entanglement. Basically, again, those that aren't in a full-on relationship, this reading's for you. The first card that I'm really being kind of drawn towards to ask is lessons learned from past relationships. So lessons learned from past relationships. That's always a great one to start with, because again, just because things don't work out, we shouldn't really regret them, no matter how, even if they ended in a negative way, because we learn from everything, right? So this is a great question. So let's have a look what messages we get through. And this is for lessons learned for pile one from past relationships. And we have the Nine of Cups. Definitely, for you guys, I feel like the last relationship you had was actually a great one. We see the Nine of Cups. She's celebrating. I love these cards. They're so fab. There we go. She's celebrating. Beautiful sunset behind her, although it may be in a different galaxy. But yeah, I mean, definitely getting the vibe coming through that, it's something that ended well, or that definitely you were very, very, maybe not for all of you ended well, but as in the relationship as a whole, it was a good one. There's lots of happiness. I'm feeling it now. Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, just really good energy, a lot of laughter, a lot of happiness. I was going to say satisfaction. You definitely were in that relationship. Didn't look beyond. You were very satisfied with how it was. So it wasn't, a lot of relationships you want more from it, or there's some things that bug you, or some things that are not quite. But this, in essence, was a great relationship. And yeah, I'm almost seeing accomplishments of some kind. I'm definitely getting through the vibe, but this is the first time that you learn to lean on somebody. Apologies, next door's just decided to mow their lawn. It's that time of the year in England. But yeah, going back, sorry, it's coming through very much the case that this is the first time you really learned to lean on somebody. Getting through those of you perhaps have got quite a stubborn nature. You know, it's very much you, yourself and I, as far as you don't need to lean on anyone. Or I think it's that fully trust thing, actually, that's definitely coming through majority of you. So it's the feeling of that you never fully put your trust in others, because you've, perhaps some of you have been let down quite a lot, or you're just, you know, you're used to fending for yourselves. But this relationship really opened up that first time of putting that trust in someone. Therefore, you know, there was satisfaction, there was happiness, but the biggest thing is again that satisfaction. You know, you weren't really looking, it was, everything was fine. Obviously everything wasn't fine, your exes, but I mean, as far as you've never attacked a relationship in that way, or approached, rather, attacked is totally the wrong word, approached a relationship in that way. So definitely when we're looking at lessons learned from past relationships, the biggest one for you, and it was a huge accomplishment, is that you learnt to trust again. And that's a beautiful thing. I am getting that a lot of you are heartbroken, or certainly your heart is still a little bit fractured from this past relationship. But, you know, do remember, every single person that's put in front of us is for a reason, to learn something, to take, you know, something from that benefits us in some way or another when we leave. And this person is no different. You know, they gave you the joy of trust again. And although you two weren't meant to be, or I mean, that's certainly what's coming through. We could read into that a lot more. We'll go into a private reading. Obviously, this is just to pick a card for YouTube. But although you're not together anymore, I'm definitely feeling that, yeah, it was a happy relationship. But it was a relationship that you learned to trust. So the lessons, you know, moving forward is that you have to have that open heart. And Spirit's telling me here that unless you have that open heart, you know, you're not going to feel that happiness and accomplishment. And I'm also being asked to tell you that not to confuse that necessarily with a person. Of course you did have a lot of love for this ex, but in the sense of where the biggest, I'm seeing, fountain of goodness almost comes from, is that you felt able to trust. But that, I'm hearing that you can feel that again in abundance, but remember it. And yeah, that was one of the really great lessons learned from the last relationship, is that you can trust again. Let's have a look and ask another question. And what are you looking for? Let's have a look. So deep down, this may not be at the forefront, but deep down, what I'm hearing for you, pile one, we've got 8 of crystals in reverse. Let me show you that card there. So obviously 8 of crystals in reverse. Pop it up for you. So beautiful, these cards. So 8 of crystals in reverse, and again we're looking at what are you looking for. It's almost, I'm getting always like a really frustrated feeling through. Huge frustration. I don't think you know what you're looking for. I'm definitely getting that you have very eclectic taste, majority of you anyway. For those of you that, you know, haven't necessarily, you're eclectic in that you do want to try something different, but you just don't know. It's a case of just getting out there and meeting people. You know, for the vast majority of you, I am feeling that you do go for different people. So it's not a case necessarily of, you know, they need to look like this or they need to look like that. But it is just that feeling and that passion and that love that you do tend to go for. But I am getting a pullback and a frustration for this ex coming back here. And I can't help myself to drag it up. Because they are still there, and definitely work needs to be done on healing from this situation to allow you to know what you're looking for next. And remember what we said about this pile, in the sense that, in this card, sorry, in the sense that, you know, you can trust again, and that's going to come to you in abundance. So you don't need, it can be with many people, not just this one. You know, that was a feeling you felt. But yeah, there's definitely still ties to the ex here. Let's have a look at what your heart desires. What your heart desires. Again, I do private readings if you wanted to go into this in more detail, or any specific questions. Details are down below. So what your heart desires, and we've got strength. I love this card. So beautiful, the amazing lion. But of course that's strength reverse. And again, this is what your heart desires. it's almost the feeling of pile three rather, pile one. It's almost like you, I don't want to use the word self-sabotage. You know when they say, and this is a really rubbish cliche, so apologies, but you know when they say, you know, you go for bad boys, or not even bad boys or bad girls, but you know, the people that aren't right for you, the people that don't connect with you in a way that a partner should, but they always want more, you know, leaving more. The bad boyfriends and girlfriends out there, the bad partners, you know, you always tend to go for them because that is a way you've been treated in the past, and obviously this ex is excluded. To some degree from that, because they are they showed you that trust, and there was something deeper in there that they did give you. But up until this point, I'm feeling that you have not necessarily been played, but you know, you haven't had partners. We know that you haven't had the trusting type, but somehow that's almost, you've almost self-programmed yourself in that that's what you look for. You like that thrill, which, hey, we have all been there. We've all been addicted to that player personality, and you know deep down that you are, is what I'm hearing the guides are saying, but also you're like, no, like I always want to say, F you, I don't want that anymore, and you don't want that anymore, but you know, you really have to. I'm hearing the affirmation in what you do want, not what you don't want, is what you need to practice on. And remember, whatever it is that we think about the most is what our reality becomes. So if you're constantly thinking of these exes and these, you know, rubbish boyfriends that you've had before and so forth, then that's what you're going to get. So what you need to start kind of, you know, dreaming and pushing into existence is what you do actually want. And I do know there's a bit of confusion because there are ties to the ex there, but what I mean by that is start putting down, literally, when you finish this reading, get your journal out or a notebook or a bit of paper, or rip the back off of something and jot down what it actually is that you want. As an example, I want someone who is caring or likes nature, blah, 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 whatever suits you guys. Write it down on a bit of paper and look at that all the time. Those are the thoughts you need to be having, not constantly dwelling in the past here. So stop self-sabotaging, pile one. Let's have a look to future love now. So I'm asking Spirit to look at future love and what their personality will be like. Let's have a look. Excuse me, sore throat today. Ah, I love this. We've got the sun. And isn't that a beautiful card? Excuse my nails, I've been gardening. And we've got the sun. I love this card. So this is literally their personality. Isn't that just wonderful that the sun card is the one that's come up? So, you know, this person is just full of optimism, sunshine, literally, and yeah, just a really positive person, joyous person, very successful person too. You know, they're very much that, and not in a cheesy way, bright sunshine, rah rah, not at all, but just someone that instantly lifts, you know, I speak about it a lot on this channel, everywhere does, as far as energy, and energy attracts energy, right? You can't help but be infected by whoever's energy is in front of you, especially if it's quite an overpowering one. When this person walks in the room, they're not at all overpowering, but definitely their energy is infectious. They literally are that ray of sunshine, so that's just beautiful. And exactly what you need. We're talking obviously about the affirmation side of things here, and what you need to start looking for in love. And we have the siren here. You know, you're very much someone that loves being in love and that adores to be loved, and you're very much someone that absolutely deserves to be loved and adored, and to love, and it's coming to you, but you just need to start thinking a little bit more positively about it. I'm actually going to pull you 2 affirmation cards to give you a kick start. I'm hearing that would suit you. My guides are saying do that list that we mentioned. I would also suggest that whether it be these affirmations I'm about to pull out, create your own affirmations that you say morning, just before you've had your breakfast, or while you're brushing your teeth is a good one. Nothing else to do while you're brushing your teeth apart from think positive. And then while you're having your lunch, and then just before you go to bed, I want you to say this affirmation to yourself, or create your own. The first one, oh, I love this. I can't control the world but I can control how I choose to perceive it. And that is so true and so beautiful. We can't control the world, but we can absolutely choose how we perceive it itself. And again, it's about positive energy and thinking of positive things. That's a great one, because you know, a lot of the time our biggest frustration, and definitely the energy I'm getting for you, comes from other people, but we needn't care less. I was going to say give a the next one, I love this. I celebrate all the greatness in my life. I celebrate all the greatness in my life. Yes, you do. And again, this is what we need to start doing. From the ex, there was greatness there. And even these morons or idiots or whatever you want to call them that you met before that, you know, weren't great to you and so forth. There's goodness in everything, because now you know that that's not what you want. But again, stop thinking of what you don't want and start thinking about what you do want and pushing that forward. Thank you so much, guys. If you want to go on for this, I've got an extended reading today on all of these piles, and you can find the link down below. And we're going to go into this a little bit deeper. We're going to look at your first impression of meeting this ray of sunshine, the first impression of you, and yeah, we'll get a little look into the future as well. So if you want to know more pile 1, then I will see you on the extended in just a second. For those of you that are going to stop here, then guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. Do let me know what your thoughts are below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me on my YouTube journey. Oh, I still find it so funny that I'm here on YouTube, and I love it. The fact you guys actually watch it is phenomenal and amazing and humbling. So thank you. But remember, these are 2 things we're going to leave you with. Oh, sorry, I just made my camera wobble. Yeah, 2 affirmations. Peace out, guys. We'll speak soon. See you over at the extended. Peace out. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the wonderful, the Creator, isn't that card beautiful? Then this reading is for you. Welcome, pile 2, and welcome back, my subscribers. I can't speak today. What is wrong with me? Welcome back, my subscribers. For those of you that haven't been to my channel before, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe. It all helps me so much. I'm still so humbled that you all watch my video. But let's get on with it, shall we? So, oh, knocking everything over here. We are looking at today what's next, singles. This could be for those of you that are fully single in every sense of the word, no love in sight, or it could be for those of you that are also entangled. Basically, everyone that fits into the bracket other than in a full-blown relationship, this reading is for you. So let's have a look what messages we get today. I'm going to be asking a series of questions, and yeah, we'll just see what comes up. Do comment down below as well, not of course certainly about the reading and if the reading resonates, but I love to see where you're all from. I was saying earlier, you know, that I'm so humbled by how many of you watch this video from around the world. It's so cool. But yeah, let's get straight into the reading. So the first question I'm going to be asking, I'm feeling really inclined to ask today, is lessons learned from past relationships. So before we jump into the future, we're just going to start off with what has been. So we're looking at lessons learned from past relationships. And we have the Queen of Swords reversed. I love this card. Let me just show you the card first. So we've got the lovely Queen of Swords, but of course, she is in reverse. So let's have a look. Definitely I'm getting almost the feeling of ambition is coming through. I'm really sorry, pile 2. My energy just, I really feel when I read. And then the energy that's just overtaken me, I almost want to give you a massive hug, because I'm definitely feeling that for a lot of you watching this video, your last relationship was one of, I don't want to say the word cruel, but that is the word that's creeping through, and it can mean so many things, right, for those of you that are watching. Definitely getting the feeling of, you know, almost jibes, not whether it be name calling or just constantly almost a belittlement. You know, you definitely suffered. And those of you, you know, not necessarily, for some of you, absolutely, but not necessarily that all of you were this downtrodden. You know, it could have been great at the same time, but there was definitely a lot of put down there in this last relationship. And again, that ambitious kind of, but it's in a negative energy that I'm getting. So definitely I feel that it's like you really wanted this to work out, but there just wasn't enough coming from that other side. And even through all the, whether it be name calling or the, you just had hope. But the lesson to be learnt from here, and definitely the overall, sorry, I'm getting really, I feel like you went through a difficult time in your last relationship, pile 2. Passive aggressiveness is one of the biggest things. I'm going to shake that energy off though, because again, this is about the future. But the lessons learnt from this, the foremost is that, you know, rather than, it's to reflect on that and literally turn it on its heel, you know. Definitely, you deserve so much more. But it's definitely a warning sign. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in these situations with these people. I mean, goddamn, people out there are so, they're almost like magicians in the sense that they put on this big appearance, right? It's not what it appears to be. They put on the, and so it's easily, you know, it's easy to fall for that situation. And so it's not necessarily putting the blame on you, but what is coming through in the message, and just being blunt here, is that moving forward, remember, we're looking at the lessons learned. We're not going to get into this bad vibed ex. You're done with them. So this is great news. And we're going to move on and look at this positive situation. I mean, you've got the creator, which I'll go into in a second. But definitely the lessons that need to be learnt from here is watch out for those red flags. Watch out for those warning signs. You know, no more of that. You just managed to scrape yourself out of this situation, or a lot of you certainly did. But you managed to cut this. And although I'm still seeing some entangled cords for some of you, you know, it is essentially over, or it's at the end. So definitely you need to kind of find the courage, if you haven't already, to fully cut that cord from that person, because they don't serve you at all. You know, they're there for a reason. But the messages and the lessons that should be learnt from this relationship is the warning signs of, you know, those red flags. And, you know, my guide is saying that you need to trust your inner senses, because if you really think back to the beginnings of this relationship, even though things weren't what they appear to be, i.e., you know, they put on all this charisma and, you know, adored you and boom, 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 there was still something there, I'm hearing, at the pit of your tummy that you did ignore. So it's learning to really trust thine own self, and to really rise up and trust thine own self, and look more towards your intuition rather than the facade that's in front of you, or whatever's in front of you. Not facade, it's not always a facade, but whatever's in front of you. Yeah, you need to trust thine own self. Let's have a look at what you are looking for. So now we're looking at the future. So definitely we're walking into the future, pile 2, with eyes wide open. Your senses, I almost want to say spidey senses, you know, like Spider-Man and his spidey senses, or any spider. This is what you need to develop now, moving forward. And I am being reminded here that that's not to close yourself off, and be careful of that, but it's about learning, again, to trust thine own self, because you know deep down you can. And I'm hearing that a lot of you are really spectacular at reading energy, and that we might have a few mediums and psychics in the house, whether you realize that or not. But the point being is trust your own intuition. We're going to look at now what you're looking for. So let's have a look at fresh slate. What is it that you're looking for? And we have the King of Cups. Yes. So, you know, all the energy the King of Cups gives is certainly a person with huge strength, huge generosity, huge balance. Look at him balancing those cups from hand to hand. You can see him in a pool of water. You know, we're looking at someone really super emotional, definitely Cancerian, Scorpio, Pisces vibe that we're getting here from this person. But yeah, someone that is very in touch with their emotional selves, and this is definitely stemming from everything that you haven't had before. And it's so glad that you see that, and that this is what you want, because you know, law of attraction, what we want we get, what we ask for we get. So don't stop. You know, definitely you need to, when I say cut that cord, it's dead weight. Stop. I almost want to put that over there, and I'm going to. obviously inner intuition. But yeah, King of Cups, so it's almost somebody that's definitely going to offer you that deep emotional connection and level of communication that you speak about. And listen, no one's perfect, right? And certainly the person that you meet in the future is never going to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. We don't get there. It's always evolving, right? So, but it's a sense of communication. If you can communicate how you feel, and it's so important to you, and I'm really getting that, and that's certainly what it is you're looking for. Let's have a look at what your heart desires. We know you're looking, and also that romance. And you know, we got the Creator. I said I'd go back to it. I'm going to touch upon it right now. You chose the Creator card. You know, this is someone so full of passion, and I almost want to say an artist, and that's not necessarily literally an artist, but somebody that writes their own future, that, you know, creates, the Creator. So you have every single, we spoke about, oh, I just got the most wonderful vibes came through me then. We spoke about listening to your own intuition. You're definitely a really spiritual person, you. I'm getting that energy. So whether you realise it or not, if you practice spirituality, whether it be tarot or mediumship or, you know, anything related spiritually, meditation, some of you may be really deeply into yoga. If you're not at all, start. If you are, keep going, next level. You really can create and attract whatever it is that you want right now. You are the creator of your own destiny, and this is glorious. Let's have a look at again what your heart desires. And we have got the Knight of Crystals. So Knight of Crystals that's coming through here. Definitely the energy, hugely ambitious. We talked about you creating your own. You want somebody that could equal that match of creator in you. You know, so definitely, I mean, the Knight of Crystals, I'm just gonna pop them up there. This is a character that is hugely ambitious, prepared, practical, efficient, you know, basically somebody that's on your level. You're not looking for somebody, or your heart certainly doesn't desire somebody that you have to look after. I'm hearing that certainly those partners that you've had in the past took a lot of looking after, and you know, my guide's stepping in and saying here now that it's great to do that, and it's lovely to help others, and you should continue doing that because you have very much that nature about you. You want to heal people is what I'm feeling. But when it comes to your love life, this is one area that's a big no. You know, if you listen to your inner heart, and you know this already watching this video, this is what you're after, not what you've had. Really important. This was mentioned, and my guide just said to mention it again now in pile 1. And do feel free to watch all the piles. There may be messages in all, but this is one similarity. And that, you know, we're looking at what you do want and what you've had, so to speak, and cutting those cords and raising your vibration. And again, it's concentrating on these positives of what you do want, not what you don't want or what has been. So be really careful of what you fill your headspace with. Yeah, your heart desires someone that is your match, someone that can meet you on your level, and someone that yeah, is your equal or above, can create with you. Absolutely. Let's have a look. I'm going to look at their personality of the person. So we know what you want. Let's have a look at the personality of the person that's next coming into your life. So the next love we're looking at now, and we're going to be looking at this card to give us, oh, one's come out. I'm going to pop it straight out there. And we have the Six of Cups reversed. Let me move these over. Of course, we've got the past over there. So we're looking at, again, their personality here. Definitely, there's very much... They've been through a similar path to you. You know, we spoke about the Queen of Swords over here in reverse, your past relationship. They're scarred in the same way you are. And this is something, you know, you speak about meeting your match. Obviously, you're thinking on various other things, you know, such as life moving forward. But also, you share quite a lot of the same history. They'll know the feeling. And this is somewhere where you'll really be able to communicate, because they very much will be that kind of communicator, because that's what you're attracting over here. But yeah, they're definitely, or they're certainly, again, with the water sign. So somebody... You're going to get somebody that you wanted in that water sign. We've got the cups here. But yeah, they're definitely similar to yourself. They've got a history of not being with the best people. And because they are such an emotional being, and they really do think things through. You know, this isn't somebody that doesn't, you know, says words and doesn't really put much thought behind them. They're quite the opposite. This is somebody that really does. They really think deeply, deeply, deeply. And yeah, they haven't had the best luck. They really haven't. But they have such a joy about them. And a real, almost want to say, nostalgia. As soon as you meet this person, you know, they're very much, or anyone that comes into their path, they very much make feel straight at home, straight away. So they've got really whole, even though very much water sign, a really earthy, warm presence about them. And they may strike some people as naive because they've got very light way about them, but that's not at all the situation. They're very much one of these people that does way more listening than they do talking. And some people can take that as a bit of they're off in, you know, the clouds, or they're not really clued up with what's going on. Whereas in reality, they probably know more than anyone else in that room, because they do keep that shut and they listen to everything. So, you know, certainly perceptions in that sense are wrong of what most people have about this person. They're very giving in the sense that there's no they're the most unselfish person. Sorry, the word escaped me then. I just had to call on my guide. They're the most unselfish person that you could possibly meet. So they're very, very giving. And the one thing I will say about this person is, again, because they do share this history, you know, they are worried about heartbreak in the future. They are worried about disappointment in the future. So definitely tread lightly, you know. But as far as being able to match you, for sure. But yeah, they're very similar to yourself. Not in complete senses, and we'll go into that a bit further, but quite similar to yourself. We're going to pull out some oracle cards. I am doing, guys, today an extended reading, so we are going to get into more questions like your the first impression of them, their first impression of you, and ask a few more questions over on that extended. So do join me. Links are down below. But I'm going to pull out some oracle cards first for you as well. And we're going to start with some affirmations, actually. Very much feeling some affirmations. We spoke about putting out what we do want, not what we don't. So let's look at other messages for you today to think about. I trust that my intuition is guiding me in the right direction. Yes, trust thine own self. That's the best card that could have possibly pulled out. See, everything is meant to be as it is. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. And you do. This is a really good affirmation that you could say to yourself every morning while you're brushing your teeth, whenever it creeps into your mind in the day, and certainly before you go to bed. My intuition is... my intuition, oh my god, I can't speak today. My intuition, oh my god, guys, what is wrong with me today? I'm so sorry. One of those days. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. And it absolutely is. You need to trust that way, way more. Let me pull out another one here for you. I bring peace with me wherever I go. Yes, you do. And those vibes, you know, remember, this is something, again, you should be telling yourself daily. Energy emits, energy is infectious, and you bring peace with you every day, and that's all you will have surrounding you, which I'm hearing that you need some peace. Oh, I love these cards so much. And the final one, excuse me. Today, I consciously choose to think loving thoughts, take compassionate actions, and bring forth peaceful energy. Yes. Again, this all goes leading on, and feel free to screenshot any of these, guys, and jot them down. But yeah, say these to yourself every day. You should be doing that anyway. Definitely... you've got great things coming, and I'm hearing that you're doing really well with that. Again, I really wanted to, you know, we had to touch upon past because it's so important that we know moving forward what was the message there. You know, if we don't kind of hit our past head on and bury it, there's always lessons in everything that happens, and definitely the biggest lesson that's coming through for you guys, pile 2, is trust thine own self, and never stop. trust that your intuition is always leading you in the right direction, because it absolutely is. So that's the last thought. For those of you that want to join me in the extended, please do. I'm going to go into this in a lot more details now, so I'll see you there. Don't forget to like this video. It'll be so appreciated. Definitely jot down below. I love chatting with you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are, or maybe where you're from, or anything at all. Speak to me, talk to me, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you over on the extended. Peace out, guys. Take care, pile 2. See you in a mo. Hello and welcome, pile 3. If you chose pile 3 and the wonderful The Vow, this reading is for you. Oh, it's such a beautiful day in the UK today, guys. I have got my windows open. I've just realised that the schools have just finished, so we may hear the odd noise, but I live down quite a quiet street, so hopefully we won't hear too many. Right, so on with our reading. So today we're looking at what is next for singles. I say singles, but in reality, you know, you may be entangled anyone outside of in a full-blown relationship. So whether you are single, or bit murky waters, this is for you. So we're going to start off. I'm going to be using the Star Child Tarot today, and we chose the Vow card, which I'll go into in a bit more detail. Isn't that beautiful? This is from the Archetype deck, which is awesome. Definitely recommend it if you're a reader out there. Some of the imagery is just stunning. But yeah, we're going to be asking our guides quite a few questions. We are gonna, of course, we're looking forward today, but we're gonna start off with one question which I've been really guided to ask on all 3 piles, and that's, the first question is lessons learned from past relationships, because before we move forward, we're just gonna have a quick glimpse and take something really positive that we can take through into the future and forward with this next chapter in your life. Exciting! So, we're asking lessons learned from past relationships. We've got the Page of Swords. Oh, I love this deck. Again, this is the Star Child Tarot deck. And you have the oh, dropping that there. The Page of Swords. Definitely, when we look at the Page of Swords, the energy that's coming through firstly is almost a restlessness, but also a clarity as well. I definitely feel like with this ex of yours, there was definitely, I think they were, I'm getting the impression that for quite a few of you, they were either older than you, so more mature in age, or different, as in they've lived quite a different life, but there's mass curiosity there, is the biggest thing that's coming up here. Real curiosity, which kind of attracted you to this person. But yeah, there was a lot of restlessness as well. They never really, you know, the message that's coming through is that they never really let you, then you never really felt whether you were completely theirs or not, you know, or whether this relationship, it was almost like they kept you on their toes, kept you on your toes rather, a lot. So definitely there was a lot of restlessness from your end coming in this relationship, without a shadow of a doubt. And also that feeling of, I want to say, thoughtfulness is coming through, that, you know, this relationship definitely taught you to be thoughtful. It's almost like for some of you it may have been bashed into you a little bit, because they've kind of constantly reminding you when you haven't been, let's say, which, hey, we're all human, but it definitely was cemented into you in this relationship. And for some of you, whether that's because you were pulled up, or because they themselves had the, you know, or someone surrounding their being, so someone in their immediate close vicinity was very thoughtful, and it's certainly something that you've taken away from this. But yeah, your curiosity is what kind of got you into this relationship in the first place, which is great. There's no negative there, and definitely a message coming through is continue to be curious. Absolutely continue to be curious. The lessons learned from this relationship, again, it's almost like the thoughtfulness, number one, but it's almost clarity. You know, this relationship made you see more clarity than you've ever seen before with anything previous. It's as if you finally snapped and woke up, or you finally broke and thought, enough. You know, you had real clarity. And the biggest message coming through and lesson learned is looking for that clarity, you know, and making sure that you're doing what you want to do, not what is expected of you, or you know, something that you are being pushed into per se. But definitely that's the lesson to be learned from that, is that put you first, you know, and you've learned to do that. I feel that you're there. Definitely the guides, you know, again, the feeling is you're there, but the guides are always insisting, much like always, none of us are ever perfect. We have to keep evolving. So that's something with you that definitely to push forward on. But yeah, they very much kept you on your toes a bit, this ex. And, you know, you're a very loyal, I mean, you've got the vow coming through here. You are as loyal as they come, you know. You are the most loyal friend, the most loyal partner. I'm sure you've made mistakes here and there. Again, none of us are perfect, going with that theme. But yeah, you're super loyal. So this relationship didn't bode well with you in that sense, because they never gave you that affirmative clarity of that, yes, this is what we are, and boom, boom, boom. That's certainly the feeling that's coming through for a lot of you, or certainly not to the level that you expected it. So yeah, but the main lessons learned from this relationship is, again, clarity. You awoke. And it's reminding you, and Guide is saying here, to never forget that feeling and that empowerment that was putting yourself getting my words muddled up, first, and remembering that that's what's important, putting yourself first, and that feeling, and to feel that all the time. Always remind yourself of that. And that was definitely a beautiful thing in regards to this relationship. But what is it that you're looking for moving forward? We know what you don't want anymore, or, you know, I am feeling for those of you there is still a little few very thin cords. You know, it's always hard breaking up with somebody, but essentially I think deep down you kind of know that relationship isn't necessarily for you. But have no fear, you know, this future, it's a tough thing, heartbreak, and my guide's saying to remember that there is a future. That's what we're looking at here. So what are you looking for? What are you looking for? Even if you may not know it, this is what your subconscious is crying out for. And we've got the Four of Crystals, excuse me, in reverse. I'm just going to show you the beautiful Four of Crystals cards, but this is in reverse. And when certainly the energy that's coming through here is almost, you're definitely looking for a successful person. I was going to just confirming with my guide there, because there's a similar trait to pile 2 in the sense that, and you know, if one or more of the cards attracted you, there may be a message in there for you too. I would get asked this all the time. Read as many piles, or one, whatever resonates with you. But there's definitely a similar energy here when we're looking at this card, and it's of, you know, you've almost looked after people in the past, you know, relationships. You felt like you're the strong-headed one, not necessarily the biggest earner or this or that, but you know, you felt like you were kind of leading, whether it be intellectually, monetarily, or feelings with the heart. You're looking for the opposite of that. You're looking for someone successful, for someone that doesn't, you know, require that babysitting, so to speak, for someone that can truly be themselves, that has stability, that has control, that has security. And up until now, you've kind of got the opposite. But the important thing is here, and you know, this is upside down, and that shows the opposite of that, of all the things that you have had. That's not what you want. And it's a big message here, pile 2, massive message, is you need to be careful what goes on in your mind, because although you know that you want stability, control, influence, security, all those types of things, you're actually attracting the other, because that's what you're thinking about, the exes, how they treated you, what this or that. So again, you know, and it's been a real theme in today's piles, is that be careful what you wish for, be careful what you put in your mind. Always remember to think of the things you want, not the things that you had. You know, think of positive things, not negative. And the minute negative comes in, easier said than done, we all do it, boom, stamp it out straight away. So that's the real important thing here. But what you are looking for, and I'm going to turn that the right way around, which is the way you need to start looking at it, which you know anyway, is stability, control, influence, and security. So somebody that really has their, you know, together, basically. Someone that is out there doing it, doesn't need their hand held, although would appreciate that, but someone that's got their shit together, basically. That's what you're looking for. But what does your heart desire? What's the thing your heart desires? Your head is telling you that, you know, you've had enough of people you have to babysit. But what is your heart telling you? Let's have a look. And we've got the 7 of Crystals reversed as well. And definitely And it's the same thing. And again, my guide is saying, turn that upside down. You've been thinking so negatively that you're thinking of all the things about the ex. This hasn't happened in a reading before. My guide has told me to turn it upside down. So really take note of this, guys. Again, I can't stress enough the feeling of you fill your head with the wrong things. And you know you don't want them. But because they're in your head, you don't realise you're attracting them. So it's really important, guys. Definitely those of you that don't manifest or, you know, understand the law of attraction, you need to look into that shit, because it's really, you know, affecting you right now, and you may not even realise how much. Because you are a positive person, and you do want all the right things, but you really need to be careful where your thoughts wander to. Really be aware of that, guys. But yeah, you know, in the sense of what your heart is looking for, not only is your head looking for someone that's so put together, but your heart is as well. Your heart wants the fairy tale. They want somebody, I mean, and the word here, you'll notice it's the crystal and the 7, and the biggest thing that's coming through is investment. Well, where does that tie in? And what my guide's saying is you almost want that investment. The investment that you put so much into and grows beautifully and grows over time. You want a healthy, long-lasting relationship, and you so deserve that. You really do. Definitely, I'm getting a vibe here is that, you know, your heart certainly desires almost that us against the world kind of relationship where, you know, I'm literally getting images right now of you both, you know, you and your future partner kind of traveling together, setting up business together, going on adventure together, you know, very much a powerhouse when it comes to the two of you together, and certainly in the work side of things. So whether it be, you know, getting the vibe that, you know, definitely you can see yourself not just in a normal conventional way of life as far as relationship of, you know, two people living in a house, they both go to 9 till 5 jobs, they both come back and everything's lovely, which is wonderful. Majority of our world lives that way and there's nothing wrong with it. But you two are something more. There's a bit more adventure, or certainly your heart, what your heart desires, and therefore you will get, if you remember these things and keep them that right way round, is, yeah, you're the kind of guys that will literally, you know, throw everything out the window of normal, conventional 9 till 5 situation, and yeah, entrepreneurial spirit, setting up businesses, traveling if need be. You think outside the box, and you very much can see yourself with a partner that you would do that with, whether it be travel together, set up business together or something. So your heart is yearning for that long-term, solid love, you know, love that you can build with, not just live with, create family, but purely, you know, build an adventure with, which is lovely. Let's go on to the next question, which is their personality of the next person that's going to come into your life. So we know the lessons learned from the past. We know what your head wants, that strong person. We know what your heart wants, you know, that long-lasting person. And let's have a look now at their actual personality of your next love that's coming in. So let's see what we pull out, and we're going to hone specifically on your next big love interest. And we've got the 10 of crystals. Oh, I just got the goosebumps. I love the energy of this card. It's so beautiful. So obviously the 10 of Pentacles, I mean, let's just talk about the number 10 firstly. It talks of completion, perfection, end of a cycle. And, you know, the 10 of Pentacles, this is someone that's really family orientated. You know, they're very much, they have, I say this, they're not necessarily always with everybody, but they have a large group of friends that, you know, think greatly of them. They're very close-knit. They have their tribe. They have a great tribe. You know, these people you meet, and, you know, they, every now and then they holiday with friends, or they get on family get-togethers, and it's a huge, amazing, big family gathering. Like, I always want to say 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. What an old school film. Shout out in the comments if you remember that. I'm showing my age. But like, yeah, real big family situation. So, real family orientated person anyway. That's certainly the biggest personality trait of the person coming. And not only that, but, you know, they've got their shit together. Exactly what you were asking for. Your next person has, because you ask for it. But yeah, they totally have. They're doing very well. They're very financially successful. They've been very successful in business already. So they're secure financially. and in turn, you know, I mean, when you get to that position financially, you've normally gone through a lot of hurdles, right? And they feel quite grounded with that as well. But definitely someone with, you know, huge achievement in their life, from friends, family and business. So a really well-rounded individual, not at all someone you'll have to look after, and certainly someone, again, we're talking about an entrepreneur here, so someone with that same spirit that your heart and your head was looking for. And this is going to be your next relationship, someone with all of those attributes, which is super exciting. Obviously this is just a YouTube video, guys, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put a couple of oracles. I am doing an extended to this pile though today, in these readings today, so you can find the link below, because I'm going to ask some more questions about, you know, when you first meet, your first impressions of them, their first impressions of you, etc. So if you want to know more, I'll see you on the extended in a second. But let me, before we leave you over here on YouTube, let me pull, feeling like I need to pull some affirmation cards for you. Remember, we're speaking about, this is really exciting. Basically, you've got exactly what your heart truly and your head truly desires coming to you. So that should be a stark reminder, because you are such a loyal person and you deserve so much more than the rubbish you've been getting in the past. Remember this, it's so important to remember your value, my guide is saying. But also remember, these need to be flipped up the right way round. And it's not that you want this, you know, bad boy, bad girl or whatever type, you know, that player type of person, but you keep thinking about that type of person, not because you want it, but it's just you're used to thinking about, you know, your ex or whatever. Be very careful of what you think about. Again, look up on law of attraction and affirmation and create your own within that. We're going to give you a couple now anyway to leave you with. And the first one we have, oh, I love this. I welcome healthy, loving relationships. Yes, that's exactly what we've just been saying. This is definitely an affirmation. You know, my guide is saying that definitely, you know, a great time to do this is when you brush your teeth in the morning. You know, say your affirmations. While you're eating lunch, you've got a mouthful, nothing else to do. Say your affirmations in your mind. Before you go to bed and you're brushing your teeth, say your affirmations. It's really important, guys, but this is one you should screenshot and use, because it's so apt for your pile number 2. And then I'm going to pull out one more before we head over to the extended. And let's have a look. I'm so excited for you, pile 2. I want to know what's next. I'm looking forward to the extended. I am in sync. Oh, look how beautiful that card is. I am in sync with the flow of life. I love this card. It's so beautiful, and you are. And what a great affirmation. I am in sync with the flow of life. Just go easy breezy, pile 2. All good things are coming to you. Remember to cut off that negative energy from the past. It no longer serves you. You need to fill up your mind with the right, wonderful, hearty things that you do actually desire, and essentially they will be yours. Guys, please comment below what you thought of this reading. Let me know any questions. Definitely please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps my channel, and again, I'm still so humbled that you guys watch, so it's great, and it's just nice to hear from you. So drop me a comment, but I'll see you all over on the extended. The link is below in the description. See you in a second, guys. Peace out, pile 2.